It's 2016 and Wattpad somehow convinced an entire generation of teenagers that getting sold to a mafia boss who looked suspiciously like a boy band member was peak romance. One Direction.
Must have been the wind.
Those stories should have stayed buried in the drafts folder where they belonged. Fast forward to the 2020 pandemic and Booktok crashes in, merging mafia romance with dark romance vibes, doubling down on felony crimes and over-the-top antics.
Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me! Just give it!
This book called Insidious Obsession by Kaya Carrington Russell. It's enemies to lovers, dark mafia romance, and she's following him and he doesn't know it, but then he finds out. So you know what he does? He starts following her and he becomes possessive and obsessive and he claims her. And you wanna know what happens? Okay, he sends 1,012 roses to her office and then her good and hard on a boat. You and me win. Yeah, boats and hoes. He set sail in her ship hard. You know what I mean? Phenomenal. Oh my goodness.
What? What?
The dust of the same old formula where those morally grey anti-heroes were the OG mafia bosses themselves. Slap it into a pinstripe suit and rebrand literal felonies as dark romance aesthetic. The plot is almost always the same. Some self-proclaimed king of Italy, Ireland or Russia buys the girl because her dad used her for paying off his debt. Someone growls, touch her, and you die. At a waiter who just wanted a tip.
Bitch, get the fuck out.
And there's the mandatory betrayal twist that every single reader sees coming from 5 miles away. It's sold as this he hates everyone except her fantasy, where the heroine actually believes she can fix a man whose day job involves dissolving people in acid. Honestly, at this point, it seems like a collective brainrot dressed up as escapism. So let's go through some of this today.
Wait a damn minute. What?
Okay, when did mafia bosses start playing part-time doctor, carefully tracking hormone levels and ovulation?
Where the fuck you even come from, bitch? Who are you? Who?
It's seriously creepy how he whispers empty at her abdomen while she's half unconscious. As if he's checking her like a fridge to see if he needs to buy more milk. In the end, it's all about this disturbing power move, taking away her choice and turning her into nothing more than a forced baby machine for his own selfish plans.
Stop it. Get some help.
So basically a dating show where the losers get the death penalty.
No! God, please, no!
They're picking girls like they're choosing a flavor of ice cream. And getting rid of the rest is treated as casually as taking out the trash. How pathetic.
This is for all of my unhinged mafia romance girlies, okay? If you are not an unhinged mafia romance girly, then welcome to the club where arranged marriages happen and villains get the girl.
Let's go.
She shows up on her sister's wedding day just to find out her sister has disappeared. So her dad comes to her and says, you are going to impersonate your twin sister, okay? And walk down that aisle and marry him. She does not want to do it, but she kind of is forced into doing it.
The bride disappears and the father's solution is forcing the other daughter to marry the mafia guy instead of, I don't know, looking for the missing bride?
What the hell is wrong with you people?
I mean, what happened to her? Did she get kidnapped?
Oh my God!
Did she have a panic attack?
Yay!
Or medical emergency? Maybe cold feet? But no, apparently his plan B is to throw the other daughter under the same bus. Father of the year behavior.
So she walks down the aisle, okay? He goes to lift her veil up to kiss her and immediately recognizes this is the wrong twin sister. But instead of stopping the wedding, he leans in and whispers in her ear, you have a lot of explaining to do, and then kisses her.
You did this for what? Why not? Why? Why not?
If you want a morally great main male character, you want spice, you want tension, you want banter, you want a fake relationship, protective, and that's my wife scenes, okay? You need to run and go read this. I devoured it. I flew through it in under 12 hours. It was so good, you will not be able to put it down.
Alright, let's get back to the groom here. He immediately knows that it's the wrong sister and still marries her.
Huh?
Where did logic go? Isn't there a concept of stopping or nullifying a wedding?
What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
And wasn't he engaged to the other sister 5 minutes ago? I mean, what? Like, do they take marriage as a game? Also, I honestly can't wrap my head around why forced marriage is being marketed as some kind of spicy fun. For way too many women, this is a literal nightmare they can't escape. So seeing it turned into a trendy aesthetic just makes my skin crawl. Oh god, it was all going good until they kissed. And now I'm just straight up disgusted. Like seriously, come on. Have some shame. Half siblings are literally siblings. They share the same blood, the same DNA. And you're really out here romanticizing this?
Oh my god. Is this who we are? Is this what we represent?
It's sickening that people are writing, publishing, and profiting off literal and selling it to teenagers as dark romance. My mind is actually blown that this even exists. These plots are getting so convoluted, they're starting to sound like a fever dream. It's not about the story anymore. It's just a race to see who can write the most problematic scenario and label it as spice.
You cannot trick me! You cannot trick me!
But why are millions of people, mostly teenagers, hooked on this? We need to talk about what this is actually doing to the human brain. Studies indicate that repeated engagement with these stories can lead to total desensitization to violence and abuse. In the world of Booktok, possessive or coercive behaviors are reframed as passionate or protective. If he stalks you, he's just making sure you're safe. If he locks you in a house, he just wants you all to himself. This is where it gets dangerous for the prime consumers, that is, the young readers. Since the human brain isn't fully developed until around age 25, teenagers often internalize these tropes as aspirational.
Boring. Boring. Boring.
It distorts their perception of consent and boundaries. When you spend your formative years reading about intense love that equates jealousy with devotion, a normal healthy relationship starts to seem boring.
Where's the flavor? Where's the flavor in this? I don't taste anything. I don't taste sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, milk, nothing.
You start looking for the red flags because you've been conditioned to think that they're just festive decorations. It fosters a tolerance for controlling dynamics and even hybristophilia, which is just a fancy word for being attracted to criminals. So you aren't looking for a partner, you're looking for a trauma bond with a side of morally gray murder.
You're sick! You need help!
Oh, so our big guy is in prison, and his big terrifying mafia move in prison is asking his psychologist if she's wearing underwear. Get out! Same girl, same. I'm also stunned at how we derailed this fast.
I see you. We good. Okay. We good. I see. We see each other. We see each other.
I mean, isn't it supposed to be reorganizing the building structure permanently or planning some very loud architectural changes, if you know what I mean? Not running a maximum security flirting seminar like a 13-year-old who just discovered hormones. Also, it's a very weird thing to say in a professional meeting. And in the real world, you'd be reporting him for harassment, not blushing.
You need to be locked in prison for a very long time. You need the internet taken away from you. You are a danger to society.
Why do these books try so hard to make criminals look hot when they're just being creeps? This reminds me, I often wonder if actual mob bosses ever stumble onto this corner of the internet and just laugh their heads off at how they're being portrayed. Realistically, these guys spend their time on unglamorous scams and ruining communities rather than brooding in penthouses or falling in love with their enemies' daughters.
Medical treatment. The 60-year-old has been convicted of dozens of murders, including the kidnapping, torture and killing of an 11-year-old. The Mafia boss even boasting he could feel a symmetry with his victims.
Looking at the actual mugshots usually reveals Cosa Nostras who look like they'd start a fight over the price of a deli sandwich, which feels light years away from the runway models we see on TikTok. However, I must admit, the mob wife aesthetic is undeniably hot.
Slay! Slay!
But the way these mafia guys are styled is getting so repetitive and manufactured lately. It's like always the same uniform of black and white suits, chunky rings, tattoos, and maybe a cigar, as if they all shopped from the same exact store. If you've seen one of those brooding mafia kings, you've basically seen them all.
Boring.
At the end of the day, mafia romance is another example of internet brainrot. It's a genre built on taking the most toxic, illegal, and violent parts of humanity and putting a "he loves me" filter all over it. It's fine to indulge in a well-structured fantasy, but when the fantasy starts making real-life toxicity, abuse, crimes, and criminals look like a vibe, it's time to close the book and touch some grass.
That's a great idea. I'm with that.
Is this a sneaky plot to make people love criminals? Not a full conspiracy, but damn, it could result in subconscious sabotage. Booktok and TikTok edits have been humanizing bad guys for the longest time, to the point that people are now romanticizing them.
Was he fighting or flirting with me? He had a knife to your throat. That didn't answer my question.
Authors and publishers? Oh, they're just laughing as they get rich, churning out these spicy books after the pandemic that gets people hooked on the fantasy while skipping over the moral mess. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.